Hi everybody. Welcome back. Hi. How you doing? Hey, Peterson, welcome. Can you hear me?
You-
I'm audible.
Are you speaking?
Yeah. You can hear me?
Yep, I'm hearing you now.
Okay. Okay.
Ah, where are the guys?
I know. That's what I'm saying. Where?
Oh, no. Where's the
That's,
co-host?
I just got on not long ago. I
Oh,
just,
okay, I see.
yeah, let me not get him in trouble. I tried to tag everybody else and share the feed. Welcome. How was your weekend? How was your first Sunday?
Well, first one was nice. I was not able to go to church today.
That makes two of us.
Okay, but then, yeah, I was not able to go today. I worked last night, so I was like, sleep just took me away.
Yeah.
I couldn't go today for service. And I had a couple of little work to do again, so everything compounded.
Oh,
I said,
okay.
"Yeah, let me focus on what I can do. I will monitor the YouTube
Oh,
channel.
yeah, you know that YouTube. Thinking we're building, but right now the focus is to build this other page and see to start pushing people out that way.
Yeah, this channel is not bad. This channel is good.
Yeah.
This is the screen here is good. It's not bad.
Yeah. Ooh. But now you can't use Google Chrome. That's why we're having all those issues.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know why I didn't think about that. It was when we were in the middle of the show, it kept going on and off. That's when I think it was Jimmy. Jimmy said, why not use
Google Chrome.
uh Microsoft Edge?
Okay.
I didn't even think about that. I have Edge. Why I always go to Chrome? But yeah, StreamYard does not work on Google Chrome anymore. It I don't know for some since they upgraded their platform, it doesn't work there. So if you try to use it, it just it's horrible.
I think the screen, yeah, is more like for this podcast and stuff like this. The YouTube is mainly business related, right?
Yeah, you can record like in the studio here. Um, if we wanted to do some content, like you can log in and record your video and then drop it on YouTube. That's what most people do on YouTube. Like
Yeah. Okay.
and then edit it. I started playing with it a little bit. I started doing some little video just to figure out how I can edit videos. So if I wanted to do something, I can, do that on here. Um, but yeah, one person is watching. Um, welcome to the show. Welcome everybody. So we're gonna get started. We're not gonna wait for them. Whenever they come, they will meet us where we're at because tomorrow is a busy day. So um, let's go to my note here. Okay. So part two. Just to kind of recap, yesterday in part one, we discussed the topic says marriage and respect. What does that truly mean? So just to kind of recap before we get started, yesterday we basically spoke on what respect meant in marriage. And in my opinion, it's individualized. It's based on what everybody wants, but they're overall, if we're looking at it from a biblical standpoint, we look at the men as the head of the household, his leadership, its value, and things like that. Those were things along the line that we spoke on. And tonight we couldn't really conclude because there was so much going on. It got so long and we just drag it. And I didn't really feel like we discussed the topic in detail where we could really get, some point across. I think we were just all over the place last night. But tonight, I really want us to give this topic like the true attention that it needs. That I feel like everybody talks about respect, but never really goes in depth about what it really means to whoever is talking about respect. But tonight we'll be basically focusing on what happened when respect is tested, right? When the man of the house or the woman of the house feel they're being disrespected and along that line. So the focus topic that questions that I want us to focus on, things we'll be looking at is how do couples stay respectful in conflict and can forgiveness restore that trust when somebody has disrespect you? And how can tough times make love stronger? Like I have come across a colleague of mine where um, she got a divorce and she just felt like she was so disrespected. Her ex-husband disrespected her to the point where she didn't feel like the relationship could go on. I know it's something that people really take for granted, but respect is a huge deal for relationship to even last. So I wanted us to kind of like just give this topic everything that it deserves, and then we can close it out tonight. Um, but yeah, welcome back, everybody. So let's talk with Miss P. My name is Felicia. I'm your host. Tonight I'm in here with Peterson, and I just want to welcome you to say hi so we can jump right into it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Uh, I'm so humbled to be here, and I want to say thank you so much for keeping the platform. Yes, the topics, I was not able to follow you guys yesterday, but the introduction, it sound powerful because marriage, respect, in my opinion, they are they are almost like moving in line. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'm happy to be here for our discussion to be able to share our own opinion and give our own input to that. I look up to our discussion.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're here and everybody still ain't sleeping and don't know that we already started. I
Mhm.
couldn't be here early, but thank you so much. I'm definitely because last night after Jimmy spoke and everybody spoke, I myself had to sit and reevaluate myself and say, well, is there some things that I do that I think is disrespect that now, like, that's why I like these topics because it makes you to reevaluate yourself and learn a lot of things from other people's perspective. So last night I had to sit in my own little corner and start thinking about certain things that I do in my relationship and start saying, oh man, yeah, Felicia, you need to get it together. So so that's why I really like this topic and I really want us to, discuss it in detail. But like I said, part one, we talk about how love and respect work hand in hand. Tonight, we're going to dive a little bit deeper and just, in those moments that respect, we're going to talk about conflict, forgiveness, and growth, and how is our modern relationship or marriage is it because of these that these relationships are not lasting and it's just like going out the window, or are we just going by like I'll repeat what I said yesterday. From being a believer and what I know as a Christian, and I'm a traditional person. I like to believe that I'm a traditional Christian woman. So I believe in how God designed marriage is supposed to be. But you can't also like not look at what modern day society look at marriage and how now it has been turning to this whole governmental institution. But in reality, marriage was actually designed by God and not by man. And if we don't follow the structure of it, then it lead us into, a lot of things that we're seeing now. So that's why I really feel like this topic is so important. I think it's probably one of the most important topics we've discussed on here, in my opinion. And I just want to understand, like, it's easy to show respect to anybody that walks down the street, right? But when everything is good, it's good, everybody's happy. Yeah, she respect me, he respect me. I feel okay. But I feel like real respect happen. It shows up in the middle of disagreement when you don't agree with your spouse and your spouse don't agree with you. I think that's when you really get to see who your partner is and how do they handle certain situation, how do they talk to you, and how do you reciprocate that as well. So that's why I really want us to understand this. So I'm not a marriage counselor. I don't think piercing is a marriage counselor either. We're just here to share our thoughts and things on whatever this topic is. And yeah, so let's jump into it. Like disrespect during relationship. Like how, how how does that? How would you? Let me go back to what we're discussing here, so I don't be all over the place. Um, the first part. that we're looking at tonight is how do couples stay respectful in conflict? Like, how would you, what would be something that you would say is idea for every couple to actually practice? Even if you're with your siblings, I think that's something that people really need to learn how to deal with people and have emotional intelligence to handle certain situation before they even get into marriage. But now you're in a marriage and now there's a huge conflict. And how would you say you could stay um, respectful in that area of whatever space you're in that moment when you're like when there's conflict and you're struggling?
Okay, thank you so much. The first thing I would like to just give my own lay my own premise when it comes to marriage versus respect.
Mhm.
You know, respect is essential for healthy relationship. It's a cardinal point for healthy relationship. Lasting marriage is healthy for a lasting marriage because it fosters trust, appreciation, and it opens communication and forming the foundation for strong, I cannot say connection. So if you are like in your co-shaping or friendship, then we can turn to that and say that. And you build a kind of a bond or respect. So it fosters the foundation of strong connection. And then if you have that going into your marriage, and like I understand totally what gets you vexed and what when you reach to that point, what is the next outcome of you? That is why for me, when the like when you are when if I'm friendly with somebody, I explore all avenue to see the negative side of that person and the positive side of that person. That is, it even will cause us to go to the extent of hard joke to see how hard joke land you, to be able to understand your response to issue when you are at certain attitude. So with that coming into marriage between men, or let's say two or two partners, a if you guys came from the other side and enter into marriage, will know that respect is very cardinal. Now, there is you cannot overemphasize how important it is to keep somebody to keep that value. First, you can say that respect is vital, looking at the foundation for a love. Okay, respect is key and is the highest point at which you can get somebody agree with you for certain reason, and it's also at a certain point at which you can get this you can like give way to this person. For example, if you in a relationship and you know how this person go when the person gets outburst, uh, that if the person get that respect for you in that relationship, if you speak to that person, the person will give in. Giving in, it does not mean the person is afraid of you. It's because the person respects you. The person sees certain value in you. And it is that value that person submits to. And that value is triggered by the respect the person has for you. That's why I say, I respect you. That's the reason why I do this. It is the other way saying that I've seen a value in you. That's why I'm submitting to this. So for a couple to stand or to stay together, to overcome challenges, to be able to run after something of interest, they must have that common bond. And that common bond is triggered by respect. And the respect is defined by the value the person has seen in that relationship. So for example, if you are in relationship If Paul is in relationship with Mary, and then Paul does not respect the view of Mary, even though Mary is an expert in certain things. Paul does not respect the view of Mary. But what Paul does is completely different. And Paul expects Mary to respect him. It's challenging. It's challenging because at that level, Mary, when Mary things come to Mary mind, she thinks about how you respond to her yesterday. What did you see in her? Even though you know very well this lady, she's a lawyer, or this lady is a medical doctor, and tells you, look, sweetheart, this type of food, we eat this, we eat that, we do this. And then he said, you woman, women, that your thing, it doesn't hold here. You're doing anything you want to do. But then you want to tell her, because you're an economist, you want to tell her, don't buy XYZ. She look at you like you're joking. She didn't take you serious. You have case. This lady, she's a lawyer, legal practitioner. Try to she tried to let you know that this is how to do it. You blind your eyes on the value that she brings on the table. That means you ignore the respect you're supposed to give her at certain point. And then afterward, the case or certain thing held you to a certain extent, you want to take your resources and go wrong after another person to do that. The lady take you to be a fool, even though she may not directly say that to you. So in nutshell, respect is a key. But everybody, to reach to the point of respect, you must first look for the value in certain person. It is the value that respect submit to. It is not because they see you, they respect you. If that is the case, then everybody will be respecting everybody.
True.
But an individual, be it married couple or not, you must look for a value. If for a child, you try to see the value in that child. And then among your children, when you're ready to discuss certain things, you will want that child to be there because you are seeing that value. It is that value now you ascribe to it, like respect. That's why I say respect exchange for respect. It is the value in each other you want to get at. That's why you provide that respect. And I just want to say that way in my own understanding, in my own opinion. And that's why I see respect and value being strong components, moving together to build a strong relationship and keep the family in a good footing.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show, Jimmy. River says Bruce is oh, you calling him that's I saw him. I didn't know my brother can preacher. Wow. That was powerful. I watch it. Uh welcome to the show. The link is pinned in the comment section if you would like to join. You're welcome to. Um Welcome back, Jimmy. Last night, we were continuing the discussion from yesterday, and River says first, like everybody laughing at you, or they never seen you preach like that before. They got touched.
Well, the guy always appreciate whatever River says here is almost like preaching.
I know.
Yeah, for me, I know that.
He said they can never be respect in conflict. Hmm. I agree and disagree, but let's hear from Jimmy tonight. Jimmy, you really got me last night when I left this show. When I was in my little corner saying my little prayer before I go to bed, you had me to reevaluate myself, to think about a lot of things that you said. It's not bad though. It's good things to really, that's why I really like these topic, and it helps me as well when we're talking about these things, because my goal is to be a better person. And I just want to say thank you, because there was a lot of things revealing that I had to think about and say, huh, I haven't really thought about that. This is things, there are things we do as human beings, we don't pay attention to it. But when you sit and think about it, when it comes from somebody else, and you sit and think about it, you have to put a lot of things in perspective and make the necessary change. So I'm not saying I'm going to change overnight, but you know, thank you for
Totally
that.
disagree with Russell on this in this issue. I know he's speaking from certain perspective, but
Yeah, yeah. Let me put this on there so he can learn more. But yeah, Jimmy. So tonight we want to focus on three specific points so that way our audience can kind of leave with something from this topic tonight. Um, and that's how do you how do couple like stay respectful in the midst of conflict, like when it's not good, because it's easy to respect someone when things are easy, right? Because it's easy. But when you get to that hard part of life where it's like, wow, like this is our testing moment, and you're trying, how do how how do you think a couple can maintain that self-respect and then that respect for the relationship, then for the other person in general?
All right, thank you very much, Fee, and good to see my brother. My brother Peterson back. Uh, I listened to him. He's very eloquent on the topic, and as always, being a meaningful contributor on the show. Welcome, Chief.
thank you, Summit.
I believe couple can maintain respect in the midst of conflict. There are two things that couples should understand: that in time of conflict, the time of conflict is not a time of hate. Hate should be directed to the issue. So you should separate the issue from the person. Until you separate the issue from the individual, you will not maintain your balance. You see, many times when you see people hating on each other is because they fail to separate the issue from the other person. Remove the issue, and you will understand that no, this man or this woman is still the woman that I love. Okay? But when you fail to do that, Fee, you will make utterances that when the issue is resolved, you will regret those utterances. Okay? So the way to maintain respect for your partner during conflict is to understand that the person is not the problem, but there is this thing that the both of you are dealing with. Okay, there is this thing that the both of you are dealing with. Okay, so let's say, for example, if I stand on the other side with a rope and I hold that rope as long as I continue to pull that rope, you will continue to follow the force that I will be exerting on that rope. You see? So the thing between you and I, it is not you, it is the rope that we both are holding on to. The moment we decide to leave that rope and let the rope go, there will be no holding again between you and I. Okay? Because the rope have created a struggle between you and I, because when I pull it, you pull it. When I pull it, you pull it. When I pull it, you pull it. But let's reach to a point and decide to drop the rope. You have nothing in your hand to prove. I do have nothing in my hand to prove.
So
Then
there's
we,
hope.
yes. So then we realized that the rope was the problem.
So,
And that's in relationship. The issue should always be addressed as the issue. And don't be, you know, don't be hitting on the person. Stick to the issue. As long as you do that, you will stay respectful even in the midst of conflict.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Jimmy. Wow. Jimmy, it look like you need to open your little counseling space here because when you talk about that thing, Jenna. No, but because you're absolutely right, and I agree with you. I really think um, people can maintain respect in the midst of that. I
Okay,
think one.
Fee, before you go further, River says just made a comment here. Cheating hurts in relationship. So let's say, cheating was the issue, or cheating is the issue between you and I.
Mhm.
Okay? So that consider cheating as a rope that you are hauling me out of it. You are trying to, force me out of it, or making me to stop cheating, and then I'm holding you back. Oh no, I like this. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. It's my life. I can do it, whatever I want to, do with it. That is the rope. You are holding it, and I'm holding. You are holding it. I'm holding. Once I start to stop cheating, what happened? Do we still have that issue? No. Then you and I remain. Okay.
Agree.
You disagree?
Yeah, specifically to this example, right?
Mhm.
Because that's where a lot of people have, you know, the issue. So let me read the whole thing. So, because that's what put me inside the thing. Why you put me inside?
I'm coming for you. Just read it. I just want to give you a question. If you read, I just ask you a question.
He said cheating hurts in relationships. I cannot see a woman like me or any conservative woman respecting any man that cheats on them. That's my perspective.
My question,
Let me ask you a
before,
question.
before you answer this question,
hmm
my question, Jimmy put it clearly and said, considering cheating to be the rope, and you try to pull it, and he hold the rope, he does not want to leave it. I want to know, beyond cheating, do you see any value in that person, your husband, that you think you can submit to beyond cheating? Cheating is the problem, but beyond cheating, do you see any value that you think you can submit to?
You guys. That's why this is what I was about to say to Jimmy to answer your question as well, right? I think that the problem with most relationships, especially the more modern relationship, right? People are not looking at that tangible value in a partner for them to get married. People are doing things from a physical standpoint, like superficial things. Oh, we look good together. I think I discussed that yesterday. We look good together in the moment type of things, right? And not looking at in the long term, um, do I look at you really as because technically the spouse is a God in the house. Like you're literally my God in the house. So if we're about to get married, do I see you in that light? Right. And I feel like a lot of modern relationships that we're in, I'm going to include myself, that we're not really assessing all of those things from the biblical standpoint. We're looking at everything from, oh yeah, I'm getting to this age. I need to get married. He looks good. I look good. He makes good money. I make good money. And we're not looking at that. So when the cheating happens, it goes back to what you just asked me. Beyond that cheating, is there that value? And I feel like that's where our parents had that. That's why they could maintain that relationship, because they could see beyond this person, beyond just a provider or something. Like they literally look up to them. It was like, you are my role model. I trust you fully with my life, and you can lead me. And I don't think you will lead me into anything that will harm me. Like that type of relationship. I feel like a lot of people don't really have that right now. If I'm being honest, I would say I don't even think I thought about that when I was thinking about getting married. I didn't think about that, if I'm really being honest. I never really say, oh, can you, if I died today, or is there a possibility you will lead me astray? Like, I don't think that was anything. It was just like, well, you're a Christian. I'm a Christian. We believe the same things. God will take control. And I like you. You like me. And I love you. You love me. Okay, it sounds right. Let's go. And, we making it, we'll make it, right? And I'm just being as honest as I possibly can. And that's how most modern relationship is right now, because everybody's just looking at what feels good in the moment, what looks good in the moment. And there's really quick interference in the background. That's what I will tell you. That's why I'm saying to this question, when Jimmy answered, I'm saying I kind of disagree, because a lot of relationships right now are not looking at what you just asked me, Peterson. Is there a value beyond that cheating? Like, if you were to evaluate that individual of what their substance is in your life, what does that look like? You know, if we're looking at it from that value standpoint, then yes, it is the rope. But when Jimmy said that, I'm looking at it from no, because now I'm thinking about my emotions, and I'm thinking about, well, how can you forgive? How can I forgive you when first you disrespect me because you went outside of the covenant of our relationship? And how am I sure that you're not going to repeat the same offense? So that's the things that are running through my mind when I'm hearing that's the rope, and then it's hitting me in the head. But if I'm looking at it from the perspective of value, yes, the cheating is the rope, and then it also depends on how far did this go. Like, can we sit down and talk about it? Are you being truthful to me? And it goes back to what Peterson said earlier. Is there that respect and trust? Like when you spoke earlier, do I trust you for me to be able to, say, okay, I will respect you in the moment. So that's what I would say to that. I don't know if I
Yeah, so I just welcome my brother. Welcome. He just walking and like,
just like
yeah.
talking about tonight.
I want to say something to that. You see, Jimmy, when he was speaking,
I mean,
connecting,
with it.
when he was connecting the aspect of that barrier, giving that kind of a description of it being a rope, I said he got it. And that is why I mentioned earlier of looking at the value, not seeing that person. Because, and like I said, if you will respect me, you are not respecting me because I'm Peterson. You are respecting me because there is a value that you think it makes sense to you. And I respect you because I see the value. And that's why two persons coming together get that. So let me just give an example to a visionary person.
Mhm.
You set and a vision, certain thing you want to go for that. Only you have seen that vision, you get that vision. I don't know what the hell is going on around it. You sat and say, you know what? I want to start certain thing I want to do. I will be doing that thing 10 years from now, 5 years from now. But how do I get it? I have to start with certain thing here. But as you're doing this today, you're looking ahead of you. But it doesn't mean what you're doing is going to be smooth to get to that. There are obstacles to go through. These obstacles will come in many ways. That's why if you can identify what what you want to achieve, and you get people who you believe and you have seen the value in them that will really help you to achieve that goal, you ascribe that respect to those people, despite of what they bring you down with. So everything you go through, it becomes like going through the fire, putting a gold in the fire to be able to get refined and get to where the gold is going to be beautiful, that the Queen of England going to come and buy the gold. So when we talk about that issue being a rope that you and I holding and pulling, and then it gets to my mind, yes, it is it. It becomes the rope. But this rope, you have seen, I want to get behind this rope because there's something in this guy that I need. And this guy is saying, I can't leave this rope. And then you
Okay.
say, no, you got to leave the rope so that I can get that thing. And my son saying, you got to leave the rope so I can get that thing from you. So doing that, if you can only divorce the personal, hits, attacks, and just strictly look at the issue, handle the issue as the issue, you will still be looking at the value and still ascribe respect to that particular one. And then you will still be dealing with that rope or dealing with that issue in any form of not giving any respect to that particular existence of that issue. Whatever means you want to do it to get it off the road, you will go after it, but you will not be going after it, destroying your respect, destroying your relationship, and what have you. So that's why, like, we get many views and what have you. Like when I say something, I will like bring it to the attention of people who are listening. Wherever perspective you find yourself, our ideas is just a way that you look into them and see how it is playing on you, and then go for the best. Is this thing you're looking at an issue, or you do not have any value in that person? You have seen nothing and you don't want to go with anything. You have examined the person from every level. He has completed or she has completed zero respect that you can, zero value that you cannot even respect her any longer. If you are not reached to that point, then my sister or my brother, if the man is a cheat, that's a cheater, deal with the issue of cheating and settle that issue of cheating and still say, look, my intention is not to get our relationship off. My intention is to make it better. And to make it better is for you to leave this. And so you should be able to process a way that can lead you people to settling that issue. Your respect stands. The relationship moves.
Thank you. Thank
That's how
you.
I would do it.
Thank you so much for that. I absolutely agree. Welcome to the show, Richmond, and welcome, Anna. Um, let's try to hear from Richmond. So, Richmond, I kind of recap yesterday what we discussed. Tonight, I want us to look at 3 points that I feel like will really close this topic out. The first one we're actually almost kind of done with is how do couples stay respectful in the midst of conflict? Like when there is chaos and things are happening, and what would you say it's something that couple can do to maintain that respect for that relationship or their partner?
Well, I believe I spoke on this topic yesterday. When the couple are pretty much having a disagreement, yes, respect still has to be put into the middle. But I do believe that it is better for them to take the time. You are in conflict, but no matter what, you should still know that you got to give respect to each other, because during conflict is where couples pretty much will try to bring every single thing, including everything that's happened from Lord knows when. They will bring it to that conversation and it leads things astray. Just because one little hurt leads to another. So I usually prefer that it's better to just take that time, step away, get your thoughts, keep it in a clean, professional way. You can probably come back and have that conversation later, because at least that way, in this case, being a man, I would expect that when I'm heated up and stuff, I don't want you to come and talk to me at that point, because you talking to me, there's nothing that you're going to say that is going to be heard. Because one, I am pretty much angry with you. I don't know how long it's going to take, because I tend to be, how would I put it? I can be I can prolong an anger. It's just in my nature. I guess it's my way of dealing with stress. So I usually prefer still keep that respect going, but at the same time, try to limit the certain things, because there are things that a lot of times we don't realize, but words can be a trigger. And that is something that I ended up learning because I used to work in the jail. And that was where I realized that certain words, certain things can be a trigger. And that is a lot of times what leads to people feeling disrespected. It might not be the intent of the other person, whether in conflict or not in conflict, but words, certain keywords, triggers. So you got to be able to read body language. Read that body language, it helps you, save you a lot of stress. In order for you to be able to avoid going beyond. So, coming back to your question still, being in conflict with one another shouldn't hinder you from respecting one another. You're married, you're a couple, you should eventually be able to overcome it, because love conquers all, but at the same time, we as men, we expect the respect, but we should also be able to give that respect to our spouses, because it's the only way that things are going to work. And that way we can, as long as, like you said yesterday, Fee, giving respect to, or I believe it was Jimmy that said it, if you want to if you expect to gain respect, you got to be able to give that respect too. So if both are willing to at least understand it and do that, even with the conflict, still give that respect, you never know, it could actually end that conflict, because maybe that is part of what caused the conflict. But giving that respect, one person should pretty much suck it up and try to just end it there, give that respect, and expect that eventually it's going to get sweeter, or things are going to get smooth. And then maybe later, whatever that issue is that caused conflict, you can resolve it later in a way more calmer setting. So that's my take on it. But couples could definitely still respect each other while they're in conflict. There is nothing that prevents them from doing that.
So
Awesome.
my question to you, just one question.
Yeah.
These two statements, you talk about words and they just touch me. So if a lady said to her husband, "Baby, why you keep cheating on me?" Number one, and number two word could be, "You countryman, why you keep cheating on me?" These two,
Yeah, that can be a
these two
trigger.
words, with these
Yeah,
two
that
words,
can be.
which one you
That,
think will lead to flaming the fire, and which
Man, you people
yeah, but then again, if she keeps on, if she's asking you that question, why are you cheating on me? Then she better have the proof to prove that you are actually cheating.
You don't get the
Because
point.
you accusing a man of cheating, well, that is definitely gonna get him pissed off because no man wants to hear that. But then if you're asking him why is he cheating on you, then how about you go back and ask yourself, what exactly is it that I am not doing? What am I doing wrong that is causing this guy, if he were to be cheating, to be looking at some other woman?
So
Like,
you think that happens because it's somebody else's fault? I think
no, look, it goes both ways. If a man has always been cheating prior to him getting married to you, then yes, he's gonna continue being a cheater. It's known. That's it's a signal that you should have pretty much picked up from the get-go. But if you were to be in a relationship, like you say, a lot of times you never know. It could be that a man is only trying to ask you for congee, but yet woman is trying to, just because you are upset with the guy, you are trying to deprive him from getting into your fountain. Well, that's a problem because women do that too much and
That's
it's
the most.
annoying. You think that you're going to use your this thing, your thing to try and belittle the man. Well, I'm sorry, you're wasting your time because at that very point you've already given him a reason for him to step out there. It's not right, but unfortunately, don't try to use that. But that is the biggest thing that women feel like is the easiest way to deal with your man. Just because you're upset with him or this and that happened, bam, don't give him that and you make him suffer. Well, sorry, my dear. You are the one that has pretty much created it because now you've made it possible for him to step outside, for him to go and see that amazing woman that has been eyeing for Lord knows what. So that is basically my take in it. I literally say it. Woman, they should think about it because if you're asking the man that question, then go and sit down and then you should ask yourself, what exactly am I doing wrong? But then he himself should ask, what exactly is it that is causing him to go and cheat, that he married his wife and yet he cannot see it? Is it a sweet tooth that is causing him, or is it that his eyes cannot stay without this thing? Because there is different types of cheating. No, just because a man is just looking, he's walking by and then he looks, does not mean that he's cheating on you. But a woman, when they see that one, bam, the man is cheating. No, look, like you say, God gave us eyes to look. You can look, but you cannot touch, and you cannot speak. Just look and walk. What's her name? Omotola is the one that said that. She said even she herself, and her marriage is extremely strong. She said she herself too. She looks and admires men. Even my own madam self, when she'll be telling me, she'll be comparing me to men that she has seen, that I should look handsome because she see fine men. Am I going to kill her because of that? Will I say she's cheating because of that? No. It's just normal nature. So when they say cheating, they should define what exactly they are really talking about cheating. If he's going and he's entering into somebody else's fountain, okay, yeah, that one he cheated. But then why? What led to that? Is it that you go into an argument and then you decided that you don't want to let him go into his fountain, and then at that point the thing is really, really hurting him that he cannot control himself? Then you go and put it in. Oh well, that one is their business.
Okay. Can I come in?
Look, I'm getting Messiah with Richmond language.
quick, and then
I'm sorry, I like to keep it real now because I'm not gonna fake it. I say it as it comes to my head.
it's the beauty of the wine, the thing that God put there for you to enjoy.
That's the funny, right?
You know, how do you call it? We
Can we hear from Anna real quick? Let's hear from Anna. She's on. Hey Anna, are you on?
I'm on. I can hear you guys. Keep
Okay.
talking.
okay. So
There or you're okay?
there's a difference between a man and a woman when it comes to cheating. A man will love a woman and still cheat on her. A woman will not cheat on a man that she loves.
I disagree. I disagree.
It's your right. It is your right. Look, women um are are wired in a different way from us men. Before a woman cheat, she must have affection for that person that she's cheating with. A man doesn't cheat because of affection, he cheats because of vision.
What?
He
Vision?
sees something,
Oh, okay.
he wants it. You see? But for a woman to cheat on her husband, except that man gave her the reason to do so. And most of the time, when she starts cheating, she doesn't stop.
It's crazy.
She doesn't stop until, you know, either Jesus said, come down, in her dream and tell her this thing you're doing. If you don't stop, it's going to destroy you. She must see evidence that that thing will destroy her. And some of them will stay and believe it, that it will destroy them until it actually destroys them.
Sorry, Jimmy, I don't want to interrupt. Let's not spend too much time on the cheating part
Yeah.
to really make
Mhm.
sure we get everything. Okay.
I,
Go.
I I I just wanted to make that clear now. Um, with regard to respecting in time of conflict, look, it almost like somebody say, "Let me go dream and wake up." When I come for you, I call it, then you will know. When that person already planned to do what they want to do, but they want to use the liquor as an excuse that they were drunk. That's why they did what they did. Now, when you and your spouse are having conflict, if you have respect for that person, that issue will not cause you to disrespect them. That issue should not cause you to disrespect them. Okay? I have seen men or women who knows that our partner is cheating and they have that issue, but they handle the issue instead of handling the man or the woman. Whenever we jump over the issue and target the individual, that's where the problem get bigger. So my caution to everyone on the show tonight, and those that listening and those that will listen later, is that when you have problem, not just in relationship, but just in friendship, instead of insulting each other, like I see, a lot of followers of politicians do most of the time, they leave the issue and start insulting inadequate individual. No, address the issue, and forget about the person. Maintain your respect for the person. If you do that, you will still have a good relationship after the issue is resolved. There are many times, even after the issue is resolved, couples don't speak to each other because you know why? While you were addressing the issue, you did not focus on the issue. You focus on the person, and that's why some people in their relationship, when something happened today, they will leave that thing and go back to 10 years ago, something that happened. No, that thing that happened 10 years ago is not the issue now. Address the issue right now and move on. Thank you. We
Thank
promise
you.
that the show will not be too long tonight.
Yeah, let's try to get to. We got two other points we need to cover tonight. So let's try to watch. We're already 1 hour in, so let's just watch the time, guys, when we're giving our points. Anna, do you want to add anything to the first point of this segment of the show?
Anna is still not available.
All right. So thank you guys so much for that. I definitely agree with everything everyone is saying. Again, having an emotional intelligence is very key. I think that's what everybody needs to practice in their lives. It's not just, doing it at work. It's also you need to practice that in your personal life, how you deal with your friends, family, and everyone. Oh, Dennis is coming. Okay. It's a full house tonight. So welcome, Dennis. So yeah, just make sure, just something that I want to add to this, just to kind of close this topic so we can go to there's the point, and then we get to
Let's
the
go
next.
to the next, please.
The next is that, just like everybody else said, remember that you're still on the same team. When you're angry with your partner, you're not fighting against each other. It's not you versus me, which is the same that Jimmy just said, that you're on the same team and you're still on the same goal that you're going for in life. So I think when couples remember that, it's easy for them to remember, that self-respect for that relationship and the covenant. I think also listening to understand and not just listening to pick something to push it back on the other person is the key things to remember. And then just understanding your boundaries. I think that's something that couples really need to discuss. There are certain boundaries you shouldn't cross with your husband, and there are certain boundaries your husband shouldn't cross with you. I think once people understand those boundaries for their respective relationship, it makes it easier when you're in that midst of conflict. It makes it easier for you to really like separate that issue from the individual and just focus on what you're discussing. So overall, I would say not calling somebody out of the name, like Richmond said, not going below the belt, because there are things you will say you can never take back, and people hold that to heart. And if you make that mistake and you say it and your partner now hold it against you, you can't come back and say it's because I was angry, but you already did what you did. Make sure you understand the key thing from this first point is that you're on the same team, and it's not you versus me, it's us. And let's focus on the issue, like Jimmy said. Thank you guys so much for that. The next point that I really want us to focus on is, can forgiveness restore that trust? Which I think River Says Pro kind of touched on it a little bit in the comment section. He says, guys, most conflicts are the result of mistrust, betrayal, lies, etc. Can you honestly respect anyone with any of those negative attributes? I agree. I think that's one of the key things. When people don't trust you, then there's no more respect for that relationship. So what do you guys think? Do you think forgiveness can restore trust? Who wants to let's hear from our newcomers. Let's hear from Dennis. Since they didn't get to give their input on the first one. Hey Dennis, welcome, long time. Hope all is well.
Well, thank you for having me on the show, guys. The topic is really, really unique and it's so special, very, very special. Something that you don't really find people talking about. But like what the topic right now on the table, about trust in relationship, if forgiveness can restore trust. You see, for in every entity, trust is very valuable. Trust is very important, you know, because with trust can take you to another level when people trust you in the line of business or wherever or whatever organization you find yourself in. All right. But the thing here is, when it comes to relationship and trust, it's a very difficult situation, especially, for example, all right, I just laid this one on the table. If my girl is caught in the eye chatting another guy, and you tell me, oh, my sapantuanu, pampan tun tun tun, please forgive me. You know, this is something that is so this is something I can forgive you, but the thing here is that trust will not be there anymore. So forgiveness cannot restore trust so easily. Actually, there is different scenarios. Okay, there is different scenarios that forgiveness can restore trust, but there are some uncertain level that forgiveness cannot restore trust. So, okay, I can list down few stuff. For example, um, if we have an argument and then you break something within the house, okay, and you say, "Oh, please forgive me because I break this stuff." All right, I can trust you again when it comes to those stuff. But there are certain level where when you do certain things and you ask for forgiveness, that can be given. But for you to have that level of trust again is very hard. Like for example, uh, let me just leave love issue when it comes to money. You have an entity money, and then what happened? You invest all the money, and then you come back, or not like you invest all the money, but you misuse the money that is not the money that's not supposed to be for this, and then you use it for that, like mismanagement. Do you think the entity might forgive you? Okay, but they cannot trust you anymore with that position because they don't want the entity to run dry. So when it comes to forgiveness to restore trust, they have so many scenarios, so many stuff. But in many cases, it's very, very difficult for trust to be restored to you when you mess up big time. So I'm gonna leave the floor hanging like this, and I'll turn it over back to you for my colleagues to give their input. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Dennis. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate it. Who else want to go? Anna seems like she's a. Anna, you Anna? Okay.
Is
Go ahead.
Anna here?
I'm here.
She's
Can you guys hear me?
Sure.
So
Yes.
just a heads up, I dropped my phone in water yesterday. So if I go in and out, just know that the it's not going well.
Phone drop in water. What you are doing?
Huh?
sure.
What was I doing? I was cooking, and unfortunately, I had stuff to do. Mommies have to multitask.
Oh, well, okay, ma. Thank
All
you.
right. Welcome, Dennis. Hi, everyone. Um,
Yeah, we didn't get your point on the first one, so I wanted you to have the opportunity to see what you can contribute to the second
so
point.
can you ask me the question again?
Can forgiveness restore trust in regard to this topic? Where
Can 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 forgiveness do what?
can't
Restore.
forgive
You're breaking. What did you say? Can forgiveness?
Can forgiveness restore trust?
I think it depends on what the person did, to be honest. Like if the person cheated on you, maybe it takes some time to trust that person. But if the person maybe disrespected you, like maybe talked to you somehow, like and they ask for forgiveness and they're truly sorry, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I just think it depends on the the circumstance. or the situation
All right.
or the gravity of the situation.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Can I come in?
Go ahead, Jimmy. Let's you guys. We're running into time, so let's make
Yes.
our
So
thing a little bit short.
forgiveness doesn't restore trust.
Okay.
What restores trust is change in behavior. You,
That's
you
deep.
cannot you cannot forgive me, then I go back and do the same thing, and I expect you to trust me.
I have a
That's
question, Jimmy.
that's insanity.
I have a question. So when you guys talk about forgiveness, when you talk about forgiveness, if you're truly forgiving someone, it means you're letting bygones be bygones, correct?
No,
No.
So if you're asking, okay, let's say you do something to your spouse or your significant other, and she says or he says he's sorry. So does sorry just mean like you're brushing it off? I thought when you're apologizing, it means yeah, you're truly sorry. It's something that you will not you try your best not to let it happen again. Isn't that
Okay.
what asking for forgiveness is?
Okay. So you see, sorry is just the beginning
Okay.
of reconciliation.
Okay.
But what brings full reconciliation is change in behavior.
That's correct. Yeah.
That means okay, your attitude must match the sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But
Mm-hmm.
once your attitude or your action does not match the sorry, there will be no trust.
Okay.
You can keep, having your phone, or putting your phone on airplane mode, after you have been accused of cheating, or I call it sexting people, and we talk about it. You say, "Oh, I'm sorry," but you are exhibiting behavior that creates suspicion in the mind of the other person. Trust will never be
Mm-hmm.
there. You
Okay.
you have to change your behavior to match your apology.
either you block the people, right?
Right. And then gradually,
Oh my God.
you know gradually, crime will begin to restore. Friendliness will begin to come, and trust will gradually begin to come in. But you cannot say you are sorry, but your attitude does not match your side.
I agree. I agree. Wow.
I, I think we all saying the same thing, so I don't think I gotta go there again. But I just want to just look at what we mean by forgiveness and what we mean by trust. If we understand these two things, then we
Yeah.
know whether when you forgive, it means I should trust you. Trust is a explicit confidence placed in somebody that
Hmm.
the person may told or may carry your, may back you up or may do something in your favor or in the favor of the best. That's trust. If forgiveness is I will not retaliate or I will not harm you after you have done this to me. In common, just a plain language, I forgave you means I will not harm you or I will not reprimand you for what you have done. But it does not mean I should place my confidence in you after you have hurt me immediately. I forgave you. We can still be friends. We can do everything together and move together. But it does not mean that I will still our brother he just left, right? He mentioned, I just want to take it out from him. if you are a manager or a senior accountant, you're spending the company money on foolishness. Now you came and begged the company to forgive you. Does that mean that they should still make you a cashier? I mean, that's a different thing. So yes, I just want us to be there. But like Jimmy said, it can be rebuilt.
Mhm.
Work at it, it can be rebuilt. Rebuilding process is like everything is demolished. And then you try to work come from foundation. So
Yep.
trust can be rebuilt. When forgiveness take place, then that whole structure is what brought down. That means the whole trust, everything is crumbled, and then you can start to what rebuild. That means if yesterday I never used to tell you, please don't tell this person this. Now you yourself will tell me, say, I will not tell her this. Instead of me telling you, say, don't tell, you will be telling me, I will not. Then you try to rebuild that confidence, that trust. But that is it. Political books will say your enemy or somebody that betray you is the best person to bring on board. Because why? That person will do everything possible to rebuild that confidence. So if 500 person in a room that every one of them say they should chop you, that person will be the only person to say no, don't chop her. I will not chop her. Because why? He tries to rebuild what he has broken. So yes, I just want to say that trust can be rebuilt. Forgiveness can help to for trust to be rebuilt, but it's not instantaneous to just because I forgive you today, then I trust you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
In other words, I would take trust to be a glass container.
Mhm.
And then a glass container that you pretty much take a pin or something and you hit it, it's going to shatter.
Right.
And then forgiveness is equivalent to you taking the plaster and trying to plaster it back up, put all the pieces of that particular glass back together. If by any chance now you take fluid and you put it through, whether you like it or not, there's going to be a crack that is pretty much going to sieve. So whether you like it, it's not really going to stick, which basically means trust. Sure. You can say, I forgive you. Doesn't mean that the person will ever forgive. The crack is always still going to be there. You will always still see that line. It's always going to be a reminder of what the person did. Even though the person changes their behavior, you will still see that crack because that person has pretty much made it, unless they have a pretty, very, very strong glue that they can use, and then they will wrap it with styrofoam and all those bubble wraps to ensure. Then okay, but it's gonna take a while. That's just practically how mine goes. So,
for that. Thank you.
Great.
I'm really enjoying tonight. I'm enjoying it. Thank you
Don't
guys so
enjoy too much. We're not supposed to be here long tonight.
I, I, I agree with everything everybody said. Jimmy, leave me alone. Let me have my moment. I'm enjoying it. This is resonating very well with me.
Where is my Anna?
I agree. Forgiveness. I feel like you guys already said
Jimmy,
that.
I'm here. You make sense, and I wanna applaud you for explaining that because when you guys said forgiveness does not rebuild trust. I after your explanation, I understood what angle you guys were talking about. I automatically thought that when we're talking about forgiveness, we're thinking eventually initially, of course, you're still angry, you're still hurt about everything, but I thought with time it will get better, right? So, but when you explain the consistency and change in behavior, of course, it made a whole lot of sense. So, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah. In a nutshell, forgiveness, it opens the door.
I
Uh,
deserve a, I deserve a bowl of cereal, right?
Absolutely.
You get it, bro.
forgiveness So just because that part, forgiveness opens the door to rebuilding trust, but it doesn't automatically, restores it. Like Jimmy said, it takes a lot of work. You have to rebuild through consistency. Your words have to match your actions, and accountability replaces, those excuses. And forgiveness is a hard choice to let go of resentment, while trust is in the midst of decision to believe again after seeing change. Both are necessary for healing, but they can take time, and you have to be mutually. It has to be a mutual effort, pretty much. So thank you guys. I just wanted us to read this comment really quick. He said, Professor Pro said, there are not a lot of conflict with respect, but I have seen a lot of divorce or separation with respect. When both people go their separate ways, they tend to appreciate what they missed being together. That's my observation. I agree. I think a lot of people start to really reflect and see things. And I think this is why every state has that separation time period for you to kind of like put things in perspective. But as modern people, that's like, oh, I'm separated. It's not the date.
That's where the saying goes, where they say, you never value something until it's gone. You never know what it's worth until you lose it. That's practically where it comes from. The same thing applies to divorces. Everybody bakes, they talk about each other, they yell, they do all that stuff. And in the very moment they go through that divorce or separation process, then you start realizing that the grass is really not greener on the other side. So what you have might actually be worth gold. You just have to learn to appreciate it and respect it, because you never know what the next one is going to look like.
True stuff. And then he said to this question, he said, yes, sometimes forgiveness can restore trust. It would be hard as a human, but it can happen. I agree. It can happen.
Mhm.
Depends what happened. Like,
So this is what I have to say to that. Forgiveness will not restore trust. What forgiveness will restore is peace, broken relationship. Okay? But trust trust takes consistency in words matching action.
Yeah.
You see?
Totally.
Your words must match your action. You can't be saying one thing and the behavior, in you is showing different thing. Trust will never be restored with that kind of behavior. Yes.
So the practical question or the portray example,
Mm-hmm.
like we've been talking about cheating, right?
Yeah.
Your mind went out, cheated, and born a child. And then came
Mm-hmm.
to his house,
I beg you, my sister, don't break your neck.
came to the house, talked to the woman, forgive me, I beg you, forgive me. And the woman said no. And after the woman seeing some values in him and know that maybe yes it is, she decided to forgive the man. Is the woman going to trust the guy that you will not do the second one? Are we going to say, because the woman forgave you and maintain the relationship, allow herself to be in the home? In fact, allow the child to be in the home. Does that mean she trusts you that you are not cheating again? So, it's a hypothetical situation. I bring it down to because people kept trying to put together trust and forgiveness. So I try to, separate that.
Yeah.
Trust is completely a different thing, and forgiving us is different. In that situation, like the question I gave, the woman forgave because the woman forgave. Her forgiveness means that she will not reprimand you for that action. She will take into consideration the value you have and take you in your family and then say, no, It's not because a girl born by this guy, I'm going to crumble the relationship, or I'm going to crumble the future of our children. I will
She,
allow him be here, and our children will grow up with us. So whether he goes out and have another one, that's his business. I think we got to move. And in that situation, you have come to the mind of, I forgive you, that we can live together. Don't do it again. You, the man, will take that responsibility to build that trust by what? Changing your behavior, and Jimmy mentioned. I just want to give that, that demarcation.
thank you for that. Thank you so much. Just really quick, Rosette, ladies, can you forgive man without trusting? Hmm. For me, I guess it depends on what the situation is. I can't really say yes or no. And what do you think?
Yes. You can forgive me
Yes.
without trusting him. Then
Yes.
no, nothing to dodge it. Yes, I
Yes.
can forgive a lady without trusting her. I
So,
forgive you.
Felicia, if it were to be in
Are
the
you
case
ladies?
like the pregnancy one that he mentioned now, if it were
Yes.
to be in that case, then what would be your answer?
No, for both.
So you will punish the innocent child because of the mistake of the father.
It's not the child. That's his child. He can go deal with his child.
Have you ever seen where in the book, in the Bible, it literally says, "He who is without sin cast the first stone." At the end of the day, we are
Exactly.
all sinners. We have all done things that we wish to be forgiven for, and at the end of the day, they forgive us. If God can forgive us 77 times, 7 times, then we should do the same thing for everyone around us. It's just this honest truth.
I,
Will you do the same if that were you? So what do you mean?
I forgive you.
I already know that I'll never be a good stepmother, though. God
I forgive
knows.
you for telling me, but no, bringing them in my house is not the child that I'm.
That's two different things. See, that's two different things. We're talking about the action first. The action that you forgive him.
So
That's what
if
we're talking about.
Yeah,
let's
you
just
can forgive, but you'll never be the same. I mean,
let's just say, however I find out will be answer. If I have found out my
Look,
own,
let me tell you, Peter, see, these girls are not leaving no room for anything.
But I
listen,
will,
No,
hear
God, they cannot accept no. Those people are like that. They
just
are like that. But they expect us to
Of course, a
forgive
woman
them
will not
and
agree.
forget and trust them.
on your
Women expect you to forgive them and trust them at the same meaning, but they cannot do that to men. They can never ever, they can never ever do that to men. If you wrong a woman here and then you tell, oh, I'm sorry, I will not do it, even if you're trying to prove that you won't do it, they will still be reminding you about that one thing you have done over and over again and again and again. That's their habit, you know. But they expect you to forgive them like nothing ever happened.
it's not one size fit all. Like for me, right? In that
Mhm.
situation, it depends how I find out. If you allow me to get the information myself instead of you telling me, then that is no. But if you are able to sit and reevaluate yourself and say, you know what, I messed up and I need to say it, and you come to me, I'm not saying I won't be upset or whatsoever, but I would distance myself for me to actually evaluate whatever it is you're telling me. But don't let me figure it out myself when you've lied to me. I know it's not true, but
What's the difference? What's
no,
the difference?
it's
What's
a
the difference?
it's a difference because that means you realized you did something wrong, you offended our relationship under the covenant that we had, and you stepped out, and now you're willing to come out and tell me. That changes the whole mood because now I can sit there and say, okay, well, he realized he's wrong, and he can tell me he's fully ready to disclose everything to me. Instead, I'm getting the information from a third party and now I'm being told. That's a two different scenario. So in that instance, absolutely not. No. Because for me, if I just said I could be the first to come and tell you, hey, I messed up, I cheated, I'm pregnant for somebody else. So make
Oh, that means
Madam, it's easier said than done. It is easier said than done. Nobody will ever
women
come out and tell you that they cheated.
No woman will
women
ever say that. Never heard that from any woman. No woman will
It
ever
will
tell.
never happen. Nobody will ever do that.
It is a man.
women cannot give a baby like that.
They will only come and force themselves on you. That's all.
Exactly. Women are
Men-
like that. Feel
Men will be
we
brave.
cannot accept that, man. Sorry, we will never ever accept that.
Men will be brave.
No,
Men will be brave to tell his wife. But the woman will never ever. The
A
only thing
woman can never do it. A woman can never. Only DNA can prove it.
they will tell the woman, say you lie.
That's true. That's reality. It's a sad reality, but that's it. Women can never do that. Look in the divorce court. How many women? How many women?
Not a single one I ever said. In fact, to the extent DNA will tell you, then they say, me, I know that
So
truth.
the DNA is wrong. That's how terrible the people are. The people will say the DNA that false. They should go and recheck it.
DNA
Can you imagine? How can this be? Oh Lord, that's the time you'll see that crocodile tears.
Dennis have been watching the movie show.
no time.
Oh yeah, sometimes I follow when I'm less busy. I see that stuff.
With the Tama issue with the lady in Lagos.
oh man.
That's the kind of thing that the lady is still saying that. I don't know why you're talking about it.
Let me tell you guys, just a side note, right? I read something on Facebook. Apparently, 70% of the children born in Nigeria, they're not with their biological father. That's what I saw online. I was like, what?
That's true. That's true. Not only Nigeria, no, Liberia, and
It's not only
Ghana, the
Nigeria.
USA, it's
Don't
around
come
the
after my
world.
country. Don't come after my country. It's not only Nigeria.
What do you mean?
It's the
I know
whole of
your country. I
Africa.
know about your country
It's the
very
whole
well.
of
I live
Africa.
there. I know how it works there. You see, I should not talk about your country. I live in Charlie.
Alright,
Blah,
let's
blah, 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 blah. I
the one
know
with
your
Tama.
country very well.
The one with Tama. The guy when the first DNA results showed that the child was for the guy from Liberia, Tama. The lady said she doesn't believe in the DNA. The father in Nigeria said, you know what? All the children we have, you will go conduct DNA for them. The firstborn child, DNA say it's not a man child. Plus the other guy, the second born, DNA said that not a guy child. It was only two persons. The last born in the middle age was for the man.
Jesus Christ. I can't
Out
feel
of 5 children, you get 3 now for the man. Only 2 for the man. But you are still saying that me, and I don't know what you're talking about. These children for the man. Why I know it for the man? DNA that lie. So that's the case, bro. That's the case. So forgiveness can never automatically build a trust unless the trust is rebuilt.
And come and help me clean up.
Anna, we're gonna mute you. All right, let's go to the last part and then we conclude. So the last part of this, the last point that we want to kind of like touch on is how can tough time makes love stronger? Like, what do you think? How can tough time, how can it make love stronger? Who wants to start? You guys can start.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that saying that they say pretty much if you're staying in a relationship and you go through, they tell you that the first 5 years of your marriage is supposed to be the worst of the worst because that's supposed to be the time you get to know each other. If you can overcome, I take toughness as to be that relationship one where you guys are talking about cheating and having a child. If you can deal with that particular issue, then trust me, you can overcome anything else in this world. Because if your bond and your marriage still stays gidigbam, very, very strong, like glue, then you can definitely overcome everything else. Nothing will be able to break that relationship, because you have to be able to trust your husband. Your husband has to be able to trust you, no matter what has happened on the outside, whether you cheated or you did this or you had a baby mama there or that. But if you guys still know that your love, because they always say love conquers all. So if that love turns out to be very strong and you guys keep that trouble or whatever within your home and you go past that 5 years mark, then my dear, there shouldn't be anything that comes and destroys it. That's the take, and I hope it's true.
Thank you so much for that stuff, Richmond. The main point I want to look at there in that question: how can tough time keep relationship? Is that, please come with that question?
Yeah, how can tough times make love stronger?
Okay. Con- what's the best word I want to
Ma, I
use?
don't know about that though, please. Reject that in Jesus' name.
Be able to be contained, be
When there is
contained,
money, love is sweeter.
contained.
Please.
What I want to say,
Excuse you? So you're saying money is what controls love? No, we have a problem in that one. No.
Let Peter see land. Hold on.
Their food, we shall know them.
in tough time,
Go ahead.
in tough time, be able to be satisfied with what you have.
Exactly.
That's the only way both of you will make it. There's nothing like, I will overcome it by all costs in Jesus' name. Amen. Every day I will overcome it by all costs in Jesus' name. Amen. But at the same time, your friend and pastor, yeah, they kind of head on I gave here today too nice, so. But you know your husband does not have that means, or both of you do not have that means to handle that hair. Yeah. I passed down there today, the kind of thing that going on there is not easy. Then of course you are moving to dumb yourself. In tough time, be satisfied with what you have. In tough time, do not go for more. Do everything within your means. Then, of course, you will overcome that and keep the relationship. Love can be like no one thing. You can love each other like a putting glue together and it can't move. But I tell you no lie. If you are not happy or you don't satisfy with what you have, if that you are a woman, you will be swayed around quickly. You will get into a different thing. You will go to the extent man will say, okay, man will offer you something. He say, I have nothing to do with you. Yes, I agree. But you accepted the offer. And once you start to accept offer from somebody in your toughness, one or two times you accepted that first one, you want to solve your problem. The person come back again. What's going to be playing now is not a love. What is going to be playing is you try to look at accepting that money or accepting that thing that solved the problem. And if you don't accept it, how will that problem be solved? Love is nowhere there. You are trying to measure what will be the outcome if I accept this. At least the one, if I accept it. And not accepting that now is what breaking up to lead you to break up that relationship. So in my own thinking, the only remedy towards enduring into hardship and maintaining your relationship is be satisfied with what you have. Do not open your eyes to what you don't have. Set your boundary. Be able to measure your coat according to your size and keep your size to where you are. That's the best way to go forward.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
That was pretty.
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's bring a balance to the debate. Tough time doesn't make relationships strong.
Hey.
Yeah.
Drop on the ball.
What tough time does is that it builds resilience in each other. It build up your management skill And as we talk about tough time, let us not narrow it to only financial difficulty.
Mhm.
Okay, emotional crisis, or I call it emotional crisis in relationship can be one of the toughest time for couple. Example, broken trust in a relationship could be a tough time. Okay, what builds relationship? There are several things that we can name here tonight that I can tell you. You may agree or may not agree with me, but I believe they build relationship. Number one, trust. Make relationship strong.
Of course.
Communication, proper communication, make relationship strong. Care for each other makes relationship strong. Okay, but tough time, it challenges relationship and many times breaks relationship. Whether economic or emotional, 9 out of 10 they break relationship. When you see couples survive economic hardship, then that means they have maintained consistent communication, care, concern for each other in that relationship behind that tough time. There are some people when they are going through tough time, or communication break down completely, care break down completely, affection break down completely, thus leading to the destruction of the relationship. So I believe tough time, you know, just like Anna rejected it in the strongest term, I also want to vehemently
Hmm.
disagree that it builds relationship. No, what it does is that it increases your management skill if it's financial difficulty, and if it is emotional, what it does is that it builds your emotional intelligence, your individual emotional intelligence, not the relationship. It helps you individually. But what make a relationship strong is good communication, good affection, good care for each other. Thank you.
So,
I'm managing.
really quick before you go, River says Pro said, what are you managing when you got nothing?
Exactly. But what you are managing when you have nothing is your, there is always something to manage in the first place. Okay. Even the poorer of the, even the poorer of, even the poorest or couple have something to manage. And you know what I think is? It's integrity.
Hmm.
Your integrity. If you don't manage it, you will see yourself sleeping around with people that you would never have slept with if you had if you had what they had. So there is always something to manage. You have to manage yourself. Okay.
Right, right. Okay. Can I give my contribution to this?
Sure. Thank you so much for that, Jimmy.
Well, um, concerning this issue, concerning tough time when it comes to relationship, well, somewhere somehow I want to agree with the both party, but I just gonna add something to what Jimmy was saying. Uh, tough times, what I see in tough time, it brings out the real you. In what sense? It is tough time is the testing of your faith in who you want to be, what you want to be, or what you're supposed to be. All right. That's a three different things right there. So tough times, it's not only the test in relationship, it's the test in a personal growth of a person.
Hmm?
Because let us go back to history in the Bible. All the great prophets, they went through a testing period of time that God put them on a certain test to see if they're going to pass those tests. All right. So what test does is it shows your true color. Some people, when they are going through tough times, they become criminals. Some people, when they're going through tough times, they become drugs user. If you ask them, oh, what happened? This, I have no opportunity, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. You know, this topic really caught me. And I will bring up a story that many people don't really know about me all my time in exile. Many people doesn't know that I go homeless. Even my own family don't know that I went homeless in exile. But during that struggle time, that tough times, it never make me to join certain group of people to do dirty things. Because why? I hold firm to my integrity. I know who I want to be, what I want to be, and what I'm supposed to be. So what happens was, you see, in the test of those period is where you really need to trust God above any other thing. But one of the things that is lacking in relationship, lacking in our youth nowadays, is how many of our relationship put God at the center, and how many of our relationship doesn't even understand that in every great things that's supposed to come, there will be a testing period.
Yep, absolutely.
None of our females nowadays, they want a finished product, a man who has everything. They don't want to struggle. So they want a complete finished product, complete a package is finished completely. They only want to comes there and enjoy. So if a testing period comes, it's where you really get to know who your partner is. So during that time, it's where you found, especially women, they are tripping. They're tripping. Like what the people said over there, like what he said that sometimes the women goes now, it's not because of the love, it's because of what they want to get. I agree with him totally on that aspect. Because why? They may love this guy that they are having a struggle with, but because they want certain things, they will have to what? Spread their legs to that other guy, because it's not because they love that guy, it's because they want to get something out. So I totally agree with him. So the testing period, they are not, look at Joseph in the Bible. Joseph went through a very tough time where he ended up in jail in Egypt. It was part of his testing period. But what Joseph did, he still trusts God and make sure that he knows that he know who he was, what he was, and who he's supposed to be like. So Joseph trusts that period of time, and until he hit the
Listen
finish
comes
line,
up
when
for
his
real
battery
Captain
hit,
Chess speaking.
when his battery hit, now his brothers realized who he was. So testing period is a very critical period, and every individual, no matter who you are, you have to go through this period. Except I don't know, you have to go through this period. For example, I have a lot of clients who they are very, very rich. I have open conversation with them. And there I realized that even if you see this man in this big house, he has all the money, all the fancy car, he still has some challenges that he goes through that he need to overcome. So the reason why we will always be tested is because God used the testing period one for us to submit, for us to understand who he is and what he capable of doing, and to see how strong our faith and belief in him. So just to close up, we will go through the testing period, but technically it's up to us as a partner or as an individual to stand firm and trust God and realize that it's gonna end. That's why the Bible says, "Do it may tarry, or what joy will comes in the morning." The tarry period is the struggle period. So we have to understand that we have to face these things so that we can become stronger to know who we are, what we are, and what we're supposed to be. Thank you guys for allowing me to share.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow, powerful. And Anna, did you want to add anything?
No, I'm
And
good.
Proceed.
Okay. And there was a comment that River says Pro mentioned before, something about guys. It started with the word guys.
Mhm.
People who look like power couples most likely to break up. The ones going through struggles that often have a bond. Can I comment on that?
yes,
So I wouldn't necessarily agree with what Riva says, Pro. It just so happens that a lot of people nowadays deceive themselves behind social media, right? They portray what actually is not happening in their relationship because they want to be people pleasers. They want to look like they're living their best life. And it's very misleading because a lot of women are getting fooled and having problems in their relationships based off of what they see on social media. But to be honest, everybody wants to feel relevant on social media. Everybody wants to feel like they're living their best lives to make everyone else feel oppressed, if I'm making sense, suppressed. Jimmy, help me here. What word should I say, oppressed or suppressed? Like, I mean, I'll speak for women. Like, I know a lot of girls tend to post things on social media because they want other women or their friends to see that they're having the best time of their lives, to make their other women feel like, oh man, I need to be like this person, like to feel like they're competition, like they're above where they really are. And a lot of times that's why they always advise people, when you have a relationships, be really careful with who you share your relationships problems with, because truly that next person may not want you to be genuinely happy. So they'll put the things, and then you will be going back to your own relationship and stressing your spouse, thinking that that person was living their best life, regardless, not knowing that the person is actually just trying to do it for the gram. Like, I remember recently I attended my friend's wedding, and during the picture taking session for the bridesmaids, we had to like smile for the camera, like act like we were having the best time of our lives, like laughing really loud just for pictures. And when the pictures came out, they looked so beautiful, but truly we weren't even doing anything fun or anything like that. It was just for the pictures. And it just kind of reminded me of how women will be sitting in their rooms like, oh my god, this girl is having the time of her life. She's good. I'm sorry.
it's okay. Thank
it
you.
it just kind of dawned on me that as I saw this comment that River says Pro mentioned, it made me realize what he said is true in that aspect. But
Yeah.
to be honest, I feel like Jimmy mentioned, it's struggling with somebody in marriage doesn't necessarily mean that you guys will build a stronger bond. It just depends on the foundation of your relationship. If you guys started broke together, you guys fell in love while you guys were broke and then eventually made it, that's good. But if you guys were not, you guys started off very strong where you guys had money and then you guys didn't have a good foundation and then you guys became broke, that person that was not there genuinely would leave or start causing problems. So it's very important that when you're dating somebody or when you're married to someone, try to make sure you understand that person. Try to understand the test of time with that person, because truly you would not know a person is your person until you go through those struggles, right? To see, you can also find a woman who would support a man throughout the most difficult times of his life. Once he makes it and then money gets in the way, you see him treating that lady somehow because he has found another girl that has the BBL and all the six figure eight bodies. So if that guy genuinely liked you when he had nothing and when he had something, he would definitely stick around. But if he was only with you when you had something, just know that there's a probability that another girl will sweep him off his feet once he makes it. So I would want to advise women that when you're with somebody, try not to leave the person if they're broke, if that's not who they were before. But if they were not broke before and then they become broke, you should still be there to support them. But if you started off the relationship while you guys were broke, or he came off like he was pretending like he was rich and then you found out he's broke, my sister, carry your two legs and run away. Because once he gets the money, he's gonna leave you like hot cake. But if that guy didn't have money and then
You
you
mean
guys
supporting
fell in
women?
love together and he did not hide his
What
identity,
men do,
you
man?
support him and be with him. That's my take on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Wow. Did you guys already rich?
Did what?
Did you give your check already?
Did I what?
No, Richard.
Sometimes it's hard
Yeah.
to keep
So
up those
basically,
rich
for
flamboyant
me,
lifestyles. You will run broke.
right,
I agree.
in regards to Rivers Pro's question, or in regards to his statement, we would use Todd Chrisley, I guess that's his name. Those, those fancy couple that, yeah, I think, yeah, Todd Chrisley. They are pretty much an example of fake lifestyle. Lots of people used to watch their shows, and what do you see? You see all those magnificent things. In other words, they were a power couple. They went, they used all the money in the world. They were trying to live that lifestyle. When you start that way, that is how it's going to be. That's why they always tell you, do not be like the Joneses. Stick to your lane, stick to what you've been doing, and try to be rest assured. Just like, I guess Dennis is his name. Nobody ever knew that even when I was in college, there was literally about 2 weeks where I was homeless. 2 weeks to a month where I was literally homeless. If I didn't mention it, nobody will ever know. But that was pretty much my wake up call. That was where I realized that, you know what? I am no longer going to be, what am I trying to chase all this fanciness for? Live the life like you have nothing, because at the end of the day, you never know. Create a future, invest, and things will be magnificent. But at the same time, if you're going to do that, you also have to have that spouse that is willing to go that mile with you, because they have to be able to see your vision. If they don't see your vision, then I'm sorry, it's not going to work. You will be, it will pretty much be one-sided. And that could possibly lead to conflicts, fighting, and eventually divorces, because we try to overdo. We want to impress. Who are you trying to impress? They say the poor are the most wealthy people. Why do they say that? Because the poor are not even trying to chase anybody. The poor is just sticking to their lanes. They are satisfied with what they have. But the norm and the way we've been raised that no matter what, normal is not enough. You have to aim higher than normal. if you are at this level, even with education self, they do the same thing. If you get to this thing, what they call it, bachelor's degree, and you see the next person is at a master's degree, competition enters. You have to make higher, and that's how we keep on going and going and going. So that notion of stay where you are, unfortunately, it does not apply in the world that we all live in. And the same thing does not apply in our relationships, because our eyes will always be trying to aim. And yes, we'll always be watching social media, because social media now runs our lives. We watch it every time. We'll be seeing reels, we'll be seeing TikTok, we'll be seeing this, we'll be seeing that. Fake lives is all in there. And it draws us all into that same mindset, because we see it and we strive to it. We want to be millionaires, we want to be billionaires. But then those of us that have been poor before, because of what we have seen ourselves go through while in Africa, that we now got ourselves out of that, we don't want to stick to that. But at the same time, it's the same place where it comes in, where they will now say, you go and marry, and then the very moment the woman gets money or the man gets money, they're running away. You must start from ground zero. Absolutely nothing. And that's why I said that first 5 years is the year where you spend the time getting to know each other, going through that tough time, going through all that struggle in the world. Because at that point, you both have nothing. She's zero, you are zero. You guys now build that foundation together. But when you build that foundation, you should have mutual agreement. Because it's one thing to just say, yes, you go through the struggle and then love. Build that mutual agreement as well while you are going through that struggle. So that way you both understand that your futures, your vision aligns with one another. So that way, as you are building that same foundation that you're building, going through all that struggle, you should also make sure that you retain that love. Keep on building on that love as well. Because the more you build on it, the more it's going to grow and the stronger it's going to be. So that's what I believe. Finance, yes, comes into the equation, but at the same time, start from ground zero. And like Anna said, if you see somebody that is already wealthy, and then the other one is Mr. or Mrs. Broke coming into the relationship, my dear, it's going to be one-sided, because that one that is rich would pretty much look down on you as the broke one, unless there is some genuine love in there. But from the ones I've seen so far, it does not last long, because then that's where insults come, disrespect enters. Because at the end, one is pretty much wearing the pants, the other one is wearing absolutely nothing. So we have to have the struggle to love. It's iffy. That's the honest truth. It's very, very iffy. So some it will work, some it will not work. So I just like to keep it real.
Yeah, I like that. It's iffy.
I think on that. Thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed this show tonight. I enjoy it every night, but tonight, I don't know, for some reason, it was a little bit, there's a lot of things revealing, and I'm learning a lot tonight. So thank you guys so much for coming on River Says Growth. Thank you for managing the comment section tonight. Thanks to our audience. Just to add my own little one piece really quickly to close out at that point. I believe, like everybody else said, tough time definitely is a test for your foundation of your love for each other. But I also, even though I agree with you guys that it's not going to keep you together also, but I also think those tough times really deepen your relationship. It gets you to a point where you see each other on another level, and you understand that. I can say that for my relationship, we have our fair share, and as a person, individual, without just relationship, I have my fair share in this country as well. I think that's when you really get to see who you are and your strength and what each person brings to the table to make that relationship work. That's what I will add. And I would just say, when couples choose to lean on each other and instead of away, they develop resilience, like Jeannie says, and empathy, and they're grateful for whatever they have in our life. Whether you can weather the storm together and build your love and stay strong, that's where I'm going to keep it at. Overall, overcoming challenges together creates a bond built on endurance and understanding. So that's what I would say. We're at the closing point of the show. Thank you guys so much. Thanks everybody. I just want us to go around 1 minute each to just give, your closing to this topic. Whoever is watching that's actually going through this with their spouse and where they're at right now, what is something that you can part with for that person to just ponder as they watch this? If they watch this later on towards the end, what is something that you would like to leave them with that if they're going through it, how do they handle that? You know.
Well, for me, what I would say is be respectful to one another, be loving, be caring, have that mutual understanding. Do not try to be faster than your shadows. Ensure that you at least have that communication, because communication is the key to everything. But also learn to read body language, because that will help save a lot of things. Have that conversation, have everything within the family or within yourselves. Have that thing between yourself, so that way you can avoid having any further issues in it. So respect is a very, very big thing. Men expect respect, women expect it as well. We should learn to be able to share it, communicate with one another on there, but at the same time, learn to build that love, learn to build that foundation, have a strong foundation, because with that strong foundation, it will help to ensure that everything else stands. A foundation is the first layer, and as a result, if that foundation is very strong, anything that you build on that foundation is going to remain strong. Trust is a big thing. Do not try to break it, because like I said, it's equivalent to that glass. A glass that's been shattered, it takes a lot of plaster to put it back together. It will never be the same. The crack is always going to remain there. So we just got to try to avoid. But at the same time, learn to know what it really means when you say cheating. You got to know what you're really emphasizing on. Don't jump to conclusions, because that is one thing that our society does too much. We jump into conclusion. Don't do that. Save yourself the headache. But beyond that, I wish you guys all the best, and I hope that we were able to impact your lives, and I hope that you were able to take one or two things from everybody, because this is a world that we live in, and we'll keep on progressing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rich. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Who wants to go next?
Okay, I can go next. I think we had a very beautiful, I call it conversation tonight. And like I will always end by saying, whatever we say, it is our opinion, how we think things should be like from our own perspective. You can take that or not, uh, or to you. So we are not a professional relationship therapist to give you this advice. But we know that we have some level of experience. We can share it this way. Um, the first thing we talk about in the form of respect, and um, I maintain the position that um, respect is the final product of what you envisage. The value you see in somebody is expressed through respect. So if you want to be respected, create that value that you project, that value, recognize another person's value, respect other people, and then that will be reciprocated. If you don't have any value, it's difficult for somebody to ascribe what they call respect to you. So in relationship, recognize your partner, your fiancé, recognize your husband, your wife, recognize each and everyone's values. And the problem you have should remain the problem. The problem you have should remain the problem, and you solve it, not going beyond that. Because beyond that problem, you see a value in that person, that which bound you people together. So that should not be crumbled because you have an issue today. And so that's how I want to say to that. The next one I want to really make a comment on is we talk about trust, forgiveness and trust. Um, these two things, they are they are like two different things in my opinion, but they complement each other. That is, I forgave you. If I forgave you before you begin to build a trust, but it does not mean that if I forgave you immediately, my trust resume immediately. So it is incumbent on the person that is forgiven to build that trust. Then, of course, you will merit or you will regain. That's the best word. You will regain the trust. So you have to be careful as to how you impart your trust and how you demand respect for, I mean, let's say forgiveness for somebody. And so in hardship, in my opinion, when you are couple in hardship, the first thing that should raise your eyebrow is containment. Understand where you are and be able to keep on to what you have. That is the first step you ever do. Even if it come in disagreement, if it come in emotional damage, if it come in whatever form and manner, that hardship you find yourself. When you do not take value of where you are or what you have, you will go overboard. You will completely damage what you have. If you love your partner, that's the first thing you have. That's the person you have. So the focus is, do I satisfy? Do I love this person? Can I maintain this person? Can we be together? Yes. With that, you become like a rock. Like a water will come and just wash you away. Nothing is going to come between them. So no matter what level of exaggeration we have with the problems, no matter what level of exaggeration we have with the solution, the best and only form, I mean, let's say formal way that I think it can be solved is you keep what you have, be committed to it, keep strong to it, and respect each other. You're going to that hardship going to strengthen your bond, and you're going to survive. Thank you so much, and I hope we meet again. I hope we see you again next time. And I really love. I think the disco you have your brains coming together and challenging the discourse, and that is so beautiful. I took a lot from Richmond, from what's the name? He was here just now.
Yes.
He, yes, he spoke very eloquently and his analysis. I really take into it too. So thank you so much, guys. I think the platform is moving well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Between both of you, who's going first? Jimmy, go ahead. Anna's putting the baby.
You want for Anna to go before you go. And when Anna goes first, Jimmy talk, Anna will ask questions. Just take that. Just watch that.
Oh Lord. Okay, I won't ask.
What the heck?
Jimmy and I are not on good terms. He's been dealing with me.
I
So I'm gonna go first and I won't ask any questions. So we're talking about respect. I think respect in relationships should be reciprocal. It should be both ways, not necessarily from the woman's point of view, but also from the man. I believe that when you both respect each other, your communication will flow, and the bond between you two will be stronger. When it comes to respect in a relationship, I also think that women, we have to learn to be patient. Marriage is not easy, but sometimes just suck your tongue sometimes, even when things are not where you should speak. You should just learn just swallow your tongue sometimes, be slow to anger as a woman. But it does not mean that if you're being disrespected, you shouldn't speak up or advocate for yourself. Lastly, with respect, as far as marriage is concerned, men learn to love your wife, treat them well, give them the respect that they have as the wives or the women in the household. Seek their opinions with things that you do or bigger plans that involve both of you, just so that you guys are on the same page so that it avoids any strains in your relationship. Um, Continue to love one another. Marriage is not easy, but also it's a very beautiful thing to enjoy. So thank you guys for continuing to support the show. Um, and yeah, share, like, comment, and have a good night.
All right, Jimmy. Jimmy, what's making you laugh? Come on now. Give your
I'm looking. I'm looking at somebody things I need to chemical adagio's done.
Go ahead. Don't mind. I'm a big brother.
Our
You
co-host, our, our co-host, laughing. Oh my God. Anyway, guys, it has been a very interesting conversation, sharing of knowledge, opinion, and counter opinions. You know, yeah. Um, from yesterday, we started this discussion, and today we have concluded it. I just want to say that respect in a relationship or in a marriage should be mutual. Yes, unfortunately, most of the time in our African setting, most African men demand to be respected and not respecting back. Respect is submission. You both should be submissive. I know the Bible says the woman should submit, the man should love. It's common sense. It's common sense. Let it be mutual. And this is where we we see, in the Western world today that you can still wash dishes in your home and still maintain, your headship in the home. You can help the woman do laundry and you still remain a father. Respect comes with good communication. The way you ask somebody, the way asking asking your partner to help and not commanding them to help are two different things. Like Richmond made a you know made an example yesterday that for example, would you please help me, you know, uh blend the pepper? It's different from come blend the pepper. Okay. If you tell a man, especially in our setting, come blend the pepper, he feels insulted. But if you tell him, would you mind helping me blend the pepper? You know, there's some politeness in the request and not demanding. All right. Same thing from the man to the woman. Be polite in your request, don't be demanding. And if we do those things, the relationship, people will enjoy being around you. They will not feel intimidated by your presence and all of that. Then we come to uh, trust. What was it? The, the
Trust
first,
and forgiveness.
trust and forgiveness. Forgiveness does not build trust. Trust comes when words match action. Then trust will gradually evolve. Okay? Sorry is not enough to undo the wrong, but with consistent change in action to match the sorry can build the trust. And finally, what I want to say is to the women, when God made Adam and made Eve out of Adam, he said, but before he made Eve, he said, I will make you a help meet. Help meet. Now, the Hebrew phrase used there, help meet, is izakinedo. Izakinedo. You know, sometimes we think that, you know, it's Igbo or Adikode or something, but anyway, the Igbo have a link with the Hebrews, you know, deep down in history. All right. We'll leave that for another day. But
The process has to come before we discuss that.
there's a word, there's a word that God uses to describe women, and that word is easy. E-Z-E-R. E-Z-E-R. Easy. And it is not just helper. No, it goes beyond helper. It means the strength of a man. Okay? Strength. Strength. Easy. Helper. You know, helper. And God uses the same word to describe himself. And David used that same word, easy, to describe God as the helper in the book of Psalm. And also in Exodus, that same word is used to refer to God. So that same word that God is our helper. When do we need helper? We need helper when we do not do what we need to do for ourselves. You see? So women are not just are not just an ordinary helper. No, they are there as the help that we cannot provide for ourselves as men. And not there to wash dishes, to wash the clothes, to cook, no, that's not the kind of help. You see? That's not the kind of help. When you are weak as a man, you need a shoulder to lean on. That's the help. When you look around in the house and you think there is no food, but the woman gets in the pantry and come out with something delicious, and you wonder how she made it. You see? They have the provisional power. They have the power to provide when we think that there's nothing there. And that's the ability of God. You see, that's why we call God a Jehovah Jireh, the Lord, a provider. So women play a significant role in our life as men. We should not just see them as a helper. No. Somebody say, "Oh, I'm the hair, I'm the hair." Okay, like I said last night, okay, you are the hair, but she's the neck. The hair sits on the neck. When your neck hurts, the hair doesn't turn.
Hmm.
You see? When your neck hurts, the hair doesn't turn. But when the neck is pleased, when it is in normal state, it becomes flexible. Then the hair turn all around. That means a happy woman makes a happy man, makes a happy home, makes a happy children. So let us not see them. Let us not see our women, our mothers, our sisters, our aunts, just as somebody taken from our side. No, they were also made in the same image that we were made in. And in fact, do you know that the only Hebrew word for man is each? Is is each, and it is only used to describe to distinguish the male from the female.
Jimmy, remember we're closing.
Anyway,
They will kill you in that
anyway,
session, my brother.
it has been a very great discussion, and I want to thank everybody for the contribution. Um, our chemical adadios done.
I
Let's,
said,
let's go.
we're good. I had to talk. Oh man, thank you. But
When
go
they
ahead.
put your neck, when they put your neck in that neck brace, are you able to turn your head? You're not
Oh,
able, you're not able to turn your head, my man. You're
so
not
much.
able to turn your head. Thank you, Peterson, for the the contribution tonight. It was timely. Thank you, my beautiful Anna,
Hmm.
my bestie, best. I don't know if I think we form on now because rich men have come in and they have brought back their clique from school, and rich man is taking all of their attention now. But anyway,
Ah, I did not take any attention. Oh, I'm
anyway,
just the addition.
I
I'm
still
the
have
addition
fee.
to
I,
it.
I still have fee in my corner, even though she promises to call me every day, and my phone never ring from her number. From her side. So I'm searching now for new friends. So uh,
Ever.
thank you guys. Thank you. Share the show. Invite somebody to watch with you next time. And thank you. We look forward to next week. I don't know what will be on the menu next week. We'll be
We
here.
need to go backstage.
This was. Thank you guys so much. I want to read Riverside for close
We need to go back where?
backstage. Once again,
Backstage.
Thank you.
I
Uh, the chemical adagers we will soon join our backstage.
to conclude, no relationship is perfect. There will be heartbreaking moments. How you navigate those situations will define your you will define the true survival of your relationship. Some broken relationship can be mended, some cannot. Whatever happens, that's God will. I agree. I agree. I
I
agree
agree.
with every one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for everything. My heart is smiling about the topic, how it ended, and how everything's going. So I'm definitely. Why are you laughing? So
I,
my conclusion,
I don't think you should open a church for me.
I will. To conclude, at the end of you guys, I have to write mine down because this topic was so important to me because I really wanted to get into the neat and gritty of it. So at the end of every lasting relationship is respect. And that's why this was so important to discuss. Not just in the easy moment or but when you're in that heated moment, that moment where you don't see that beautiful person, but you see something else, is where you really can understand if you truly see that value that Peterson talked about earlier. Forgiveness gives love a second chance, while trust rebuilds the bridge that pain tried to break. And when couples face tough times with unity, they don't just survive, they endure and they evolve. I want to leave you guys with that. Every challenges becomes a reminder that real love isn't about perfection, it's about perseverance and grace and growing stronger together. So, with that being said, everything everybody else said on here, it resonated well with me. Again, like Peterson and everybody else said, we are not relationship experts. We're just here to share our thoughts on these. If you're going through any of these tough times, I would say try to use your emotional intelligence. And if it's beyond yourself, seek a man of God, counselor, whoever you can reach out to if it's to that point. But with that being said, thank you guys so much. Thank you, River Says Pro, Peterson, Jimmy, Richmond, Anna, and our co-host that join us later in the comment section.
Chemical, that's you.
Thanks to our audience. Thanks for this. I cover you with the blood of Jesus. I hope if you're going through any of these moments that we discussed tonight, like
Why your
that,
uncle are giving God hard time?
that God helps you. And please, everybody on here, River Says Pro, I like that you put that in the comment section. Make sure you guys subscribe to the page, to this platform. Subscribe. It's 99 cents a month. Come on, y'all can do this. And then people can subscribe now. Send us stars. And invite others to follow you guys. Just an update, we got a whole plug of people started following us recently. We're at 5.7K right now follow, so we're growing, but day by day. When you're my Christmas thing on Facebook, y'all don't talk. I have an assignment to do for Facebook. I have to keep active.
I, I always laughed. I said, wow.
Go on backstage, guys.
I didn't even think
Okay.
we're gonna design backstage. Thank you so much. May you guys have a blessed week. Thank you, Riverside Pro. I really appreciate you guys. We're growing and things are moving forward. So thank you. May God continue to bless each and every one of us. All right, let's go backstage. Let me remove us from here. What happened? I can't even see this thing. Okay, I'm gonna end it.